Good morning.
Good morning. Hi,
How are
JC.
you?
I'm okay.
Oh,
Loaded
breathe
que-
in, breathe out.
I know, right? Loaded question right now, right?
Especially with how close you are to DC. I'm so happy that
Mm,
you guys are
in the
doing good.
suburbs.
And this,
Yeah.
yep. Well, good morning, everybody. So happy to see you all here. Becca, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This has been, I know for a lot of people, we're just like shutting off the news because we can't handle it. And a lot of people are watching the news because we need to know what's going on. And it's just, it can get a lot after a whole freaking year of dealing with COVID stuff.
Can.
So glad you all are here this morning. Becca,
Yeah.
can you introduce yourself? Where you
Yes.
are, what you do, all the good things.
Yes. Yes. Hi. Good morning. My name's Rebecca Childress, and I teach yoga, and I am just outside of DC. Well, about an hour south of DC in the suburbs, Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I teach a class weekly focused on stress management, ironically enough, right? We all need that right now.
Yeah.
And that class is available on Zoom as well. So you can join us from wherever you are. It's with Dragonfly Yoga Studio here in Fredericksburg. And during non COVID times, I do offer a lot of retreats and workshops. And my focus is usually trauma sensitive yoga and stress management. And I also just love people getting outside in nature and connected in that way.
Love it. And I
Yeah.
didn't know about the Zoom. So if you don't mind, like sharing, like after maybe a link or whatever to sign up
Yeah,
or
to the
whatever.
studio.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
here. We love you so much. Would you like to bring us into the sunrise?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent.
Good morning. So I know that those of you that might be tuning in live, I told Jesse before we went live that there was no possible way that we were going to be able to find the right words for everyone this morning because there's so many different feelings about what's happening in our world in the last 24 hours. And I was in the bookstore last Friday night. I was actually picking up a copy of Yoga Journal to see Michelle's article, and I picked up a book that's called 5 Good Minutes. And I just started flipping through it, and I grabbed it because I thought, that's going to be a really great little book for our Sunrise group. And the very first little chapter that jumped out at me was about safety. And so last Friday night, when I was in the bookstore, I had already made the decision at that point that my first sunrise meditation of the year with this group was going to be focused on safety. And so, even after the events of the last day, I decided not to change that focus because I do think that people are feeling their sense of safety impacted. It's been impacted throughout the whole year, and our nervous system is being impacted as well. So we have, of course, what most people refer to as fight or flight, our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system. And there's been so many things throughout the whole year that has really kept us at a heightened sense of stress. People are worried and people are scared, and just a simple trip to the grocery store becomes something that creates stress that a year ago it would have been a completely different experience. You would have been maybe a little bit frustrated that the checkout line was a little longer than usual, or maybe a little bit frustrated that you got in your car and forgot an ingredient that you came to pick up. But now there's that additional layer of, is this a safe place for me to be? Am I going to get exposed to COVID while I'm here grocery shopping? Am I going to get sick? Am I going to, cause harm to myself, to other people? And then also to just the decisions that people have been making across the country that are impacting so many different people as well. And so our sense of safety, it really has just been kind of very shaken. And when our sense of safety is shaken, it's very hard sometimes to just be present in our normal routine in our daily lives. And so I just encourage you today, after the sunrise meditation, to tune off Facebook, actually, tune off social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media source you use. I'm in it with you. I am going to take a fast today from social media after we talk this morning. I'll check back in for your comments, but that's it for this, to make sure our sunrisers are okay. But then, just focus mindfully on whatever it is that you're doing, whether that's drinking a cup of coffee, whether it's brushing your teeth, whether it's, having your breakfast, having a conversation with a loved one. Try to focus on your breathing and just be fully present with that moment. And so this morning, I made my coffee with my little French press. This helps me just have a mindful moment. And I have my nice little pottery coffee mug. Again, this helps me have a mindful moment as well. So again, let's set some boundaries this morning. There's a fine line between being informed and being overwhelmed. And so at this point, I think we're informed. Let's work to not be overwhelmed. So, just a little bit about wishing ourselves safety. And this is not just wishing ourselves safety, but also wishing safety to everybody who's participating in these morning sunrises with us. The feeling of safety is priceless and often elusive. Even the possibility of safety may at times seem unreachable. There is profound power in the simple gesture of wishing safety for yourself. As a meditation, this practice is done in the same spirit of a parent holding a frightened child and lovingly whispering soothing words. So let's just come into a seated position, or if you're lying down, you're welcome to continue to just lie down. And just for about 1 minute, we're just going to mindfully breathe. I'm going to keep an eye on the time for us, so you're welcome to close your eyes and just let me keep an eye on the time for you. No need to worry about that. But let's just get comfortable with where we are. If we are seated, maybe give yourself a little rock from side to side. Feel comfortable on your hips. And let's see where our hands feel most comfortable this morning. And so maybe you do want to put the palms down this morning to maybe perhaps increase your sense of both physical and emotional safety. Maybe you do want to turn the palms up towards the sky in a more traditional meditative type posture. There's certainly no right or wrong. Or maybe you do want to bring your hands to your heart and just feel the gentle rise and fall in your chest and feel your heart beating as we do breathe. Again, there is no right or wrong. So I'll give you just a moment to get settled with your hands. And as you get settled with your hands, if you do feel comfortable closing your eyes, just allow your eyelids to just close gently this morning. And start to soften the muscles around your face. Let's relax our eyes, our cheeks, our mouth. Relax the neck and shoulders. And let's start to bring our attention to our breathing. Gentle breathing in and gentle breathing out. Through the nose. Aware of each inhalation and aware of each exhalation. Again, let's breathe together mindfully for about 1 minute. Let's try to have this an equal part breath. Maybe breathing in to a count of 4 or 5, maybe even 6. And breathing out for a count of 4, 5, or maybe 6. Let's take just a couple rounds together. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Again together. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more together as a group. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Continue with this awareness and continue with this pattern. Again, equal part breath, equal inhale, equal exhale. We're here for about 30 more seconds. Focus and awareness is on the breathing. And you can either leave the eyes closed or you can flutter the eyes open for the remaining of the meditation. But if you do feel comfortable leaving them closed, just leave them closed. And you can leave your hands where they are, or you can let your hands come to a more comfortable resting position. So make any adjustments that you might need to. As you continue to breathe, let's set an intention for ourselves this morning. What the word compassion means is to show care and concern for suffering. And so this morning we're directing this compassion to ourselves. And when we direct this compassion to ourselves, we are then also more able to offer compassion to others. Let's continue to breathe and continue to set an intention for our day this morning. This may be an intention that carries over for the rest of the day, or maybe even for the rest of the week. Maybe that intention is compassion. Just let whatever naturally arises come to mind, and just settle that intention with your breathing into your heart and into your mind this morning. Let's continue to relax, and let's begin just to imagine a picture of ourselves as we are right now at this moment. Breathing, relaxing, connecting across the miles, virtually through this platform. Showing compassion for ourselves. As we continue to visualize ourselves this morning, let's try to bring compassion to our mind and compassion to our heart in the manner of which a parent would show compassion to a child. And so we all bring our life experiences into that. Maybe it's positive, or if it's not positive, bring your mind to a place where you have seen compassion offered. Maybe that's from a friend, a teacher, a mentor. And just offer yourself the same compassion that that person has offered you. Compassion comes in many forms. It can come with a check-in, are you okay? It can come with acts of service, offering food. It can come through touch, a hug, a gentle touch on the hand. Compassion can come from words of affirmation. Let's offer some words of compassion and affirmation to ourselves this morning. And just for the next few moments, imagine speaking directly to yourself, saying this phrase: may I be safe from all harm. May I be protected from all inner and outer harm. Let's continue to breathe and wish ourselves safety with the same spirit that you would wish a dear friend. Again, offering compassion for ourselves in this moment, knowing that whatever we feel is okay. There is no right or wrong. Just allowing ourselves to experience our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings without any judgment. And as we move throughout our day, working to be present with our breath, to be present with our body, and to be mindful in this moment. Working through this day with compassion. If you do have your hands on your heart, just allow your hands to come down to your lap. And as you're ready, we'll just gently flutter the eyes open. Let's let our hands gently fall to our side. Let's take a deep breath in and sweep our arms towards the sky as a group together. Hands gently pressed together. Deep breath out. Hands to heart center. And close with Namaste, Sanskrit word. The light in me sees and offers the light in you. Thank you so much for sharing your sunrise with us this morning. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you,
That was,
Jesse.
thank you so much. That was absolutely perfect. And I know that we've probably heard the word compassion our whole lives, but I had to share one story with you really quickly because you just made me think of something.
Yeah.
I remember the first time the word compassion really meant something to me. And I was observing two strangers talking to each other. They were both older gentlemen, and one was like a Bible salesman kind of guy, and the other one was, you could tell he was annoyed by the Bible salesman kind of guy. And the salesman was trying to do this whole little shtick. And one of his things was asking him, the other guy, what he thought the most important thing was, hoping he would say Jesus or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other guy said, he just, his whole face softened and he looked at the salesman and he said, compassion.
Wow.
And you know that he didn't agree with the other guy, but he saw him for who he was
Yeah.
and was giving him compassion. And that was the first time I had ever heard that word used like that. I
Yeah.
mean, I was maybe 8.
Wow.
So
And you,
I knew the word, like that was a word that you hear. I mean, I didn't really hear it in context often, but just to see his entire demeanor, because at first he was frazzled and stressed because he's being stopped in his day by somebody he doesn't agree with. But then you could see him catch himself and
yeah.
realize that this other person was a person,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
just had that moment, and the entire, I don't know the rest of the conversation, but it shifted, and it was just, and I feel like that there's so many people that we don't agree with in our day-to-day dealings, you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be even so like a loud punctuation like politics or whatever. It could just be a very subtle, they could just be annoying to us.
Yeah. But what an amazing thing, too, that you said that in that moment that you noticed the compassion, that it shifted the whole
Yes.
conversation. And
Yeah.
so, really, that's what, let's try to do that today. Let's try to shift the narrative, shift the conversation with ourselves
Yeah.
to be one of compassion. Try to look at ourselves the way that man offered compassion
Yeah.
to the other person.
Yeah.
It's it's been such a tough year in 21. Like, let's not lose hope.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't judge an entire year by 1 week. Come on.
Right, or about one day. Let's not do it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
What a roller
that's
coaster ride this has been.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, but those breathing techniques and just sitting quietly, those are the things that do calm our nervous system. It is the things
Yeah.
that we need to bring us back into balance. And again, a healthy relationship is a relationship with gentle highs and lows. An
Mm.
unhealthy relationship is a relationship with extreme highs and extreme lows.
Yeah.
And so, right now, 2020 and the start of 21, it's a very unhealthy relationship because it's extreme highs
Yeah.
and extreme lows. And so let's try to shift that more to the gentle rolling hills of
I like.
gentle highs and gentle lows.
Yeah.
And maybe we can soften some of that edge with compassion to ourselves. And so, again, let's work together as a team, as a group. Let's try to stay off social media today. Let's try to
Yes.
lean into this group. We can leave comments here and we can chat among ourselves. I'll come back in to see any comments for this group. But let's try to shift away from things that are triggering us and
Yeah.
bringing our blood pressure and our heart rate up
Yes.
unnecessarily. We don't need that right now.
Social media and news detox day. I like it.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna pour my detox tea, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
love it.
Compassion. Yeah.
Fashion.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you. Mwah. Cheers to
Yes.
you, and
Yeah.
have a beautiful day, everybody.
You too.
Go forth and do beautiful things.